This is what happens after the intro, a video series by Match B2B that looks at patterns determining whether international B2B connections actually continue or quietly lose momentum after a strong start. I'm Brandon Cohen, an international B2B partnerships and growth advisor. I work with companies operating across markets, and I see what happens after introductions are made, when collaboration either moves forward or slowly stalls. In this episode, we're looking at one recurring pattern in regulated and risk-sensitive markets. Confidence matters more than usage. In many B2B environments, getting a customer to start using a product feels like progress. But in regulated and high-risk markets, usage can be misleading. A product can be live, tests can run, data can flow, and still, momentum slows down. That's because customers in these markets are not primarily evaluating functionality, they are evaluating risk. The real question is not, can we use this? It's, are we safe relying on this? You can see this clearly in healthcare. Philips operates in heavily regulated clinical environments. Hospitals often pilot new systems, connect devices, and even see positive clinical indicators, and still hesitate to move forward. What holds them back isn't usability, it's accountability. Hospital teams are asking who is responsible if something goes wrong, how the solution fits into existing clinical governance, and what happens during audits or regulatory reviews. Philips found that pushing adoption harder didn't accelerate decisions. What did was making risk and responsibility explicit. Clinical validation frameworks, clear regulatory documentation, and defined escalation paths reduced uncertainty. Once confidence was established, momentum followed. The same pattern appears in fintech. Stripe works with companies handling payments, compliance, and financial exposure. Many customers integrate Stripe successfully very early. From a technical perspective, everything works. Yet expansion often pauses, because integration answers a technical question, not a regulatory one. Customers still need clarity around compliance responsibility, failure scenarios, and regulatory exposure. Stripe invested heavily in transparent documentation, clear explanations of how risk is handled, and guidance on regulatory obligations. Confidence, not additional features, became the trigger for broader adoption. You see this again in cybersecurity. Cloudflare found that customers could deploy security tools quickly, but still hesitate to rely on them fully. Security teams weren't asking whether the product worked. They were asking what happens during an incident, how predictable the response is, and who owns decisions under pressure. Cloudflare shifted its focus from promising protection to demonstrating control and predictability. Incident transparency, responsibility models, and real-time visibility reduced uncertainty. Once confidence increased, usage turned into reliance. Across healthcare, fintech, and cybersecurity, the pattern is the same. Usage answers the question, does this work? Confidence answers a different question, can we afford to rely on this? Until that second question is resolved, progress stays cautious. This is why many international B2B collaborations slow down after a strong introduction. Vendors focus on driving adoption, while customers are still evaluating risk. Once confidence is addressed directly, through clarity, predictability, and accountability, momentum accelerates naturally. That's why in regulated and risk-sensitive markets, confidence matters more than usage. Because what happens after the intro is rarely about activity, it's about certainty.